Hi, I'm Tori. When I'm cooking for one, the I can't be bothered factor can be pretty high. Most of the time it's toasted cheese or some cherry tomatoes and a glass of pink wine, or frankly, nothing at all. So if I'm going to cook for myself, I figure it has to have three things to make it work. One, it has to be quick. Two, it has to have minimal cleaning up. And the third thing is, it has to use stuff that's already hiding in my cupboard or is going to use up most of what I buy. Because there's nothing sadder than looking in your fridge 3 days later and seeing half a capsicum still hanging around. So this is something that saved me a few times. It's salmon that gets poached in miso soup with some ribbons of zucchini, some spinach and some silken tofu. Now the great thing about miso soup is that it's not going to go off. It's already fermented. The packets are small and they can tuck easily into your cupboard, and it makes a really good flavour base for poaching fish or tofu or chicken, and it's just a really good ready standby. So this is pretty much all I need. I need a speed peeler, one of these magical things, to make the ribbons out of zucchini, and I need a pot and a lid and some water. So here's how we roll. I'm going to take about a cup of hot water, 200 mils, 250 mils, and I'm going to add that into a saucepan over here. To that, I'm going to add one of these magical little miso soup sachets. I'm going to squeeze it out and get all of it in there. Sometimes the miso soup sachets come in a powdered form as well, and that's fine. Just follow exactly the same process for it. Okay. Now I'm just going to stir that around so it forms into a broth and bring it to the boil. And I'm going to pop the lid on to help that happen. And then here, I've got a nice piece of salmon. It's got this skin taken off, but if the skin comes with it on, then just cut it up as you would now into shapes that are about the size of my thumb, and then at the end, cleave the skin off the bottom. The skin doesn't poach quite so well. Okay, we put that to one side. And then you just have to attack the zucchini with a speed peeler. Turn that down a little bit. You can hear it boiling. So, you can just make little noodle-like shapes out of the zucchini here by shaving bits off. The great thing about these is that once it's poached in the miso, it kind of has the slippery texture of a noodle, but you don't get that really gutful feeling that you get when you eat too many carbs at night. Now I can either use the whole zucchini or half, depending on how hungry I am. I'm probably only hungry enough for half of it. So I'm just going to put the other half of the zucchini back in the fridge, but I have a plan of how I'm going to use it. Tomorrow night, or tomorrow for lunch when I make a green salad, I'm just going to make ribbons exactly the same way as this, and then I'm going to add them to the salad. Slippery little suckers. If you have them raw and then you add some acid to it as well, then they make a nice addition to salads. And you just get a little bit of extra green. Okay, I think that's probably about enough for me. So, I'm going to take this over here. The miso's pottering away. And I'm just going to put both of them in there. Keep the heat down low. And put the lid on for another couple of minutes. So, to bulk it out a little bit further, sometimes I turn to silken tofu. I really like it because it doesn't need to be cooked. I'm just going to wipe this off. And you can just put it straight in the bottom of a bowl, cut it into cubes, and then pour the soup over the top of it. And it just forms these little floating icebergs in there. Now I know I've only used half of it, but I do have a plan for how I'm going to use the rest of it. Tomorrow morning I'm going to make a smoothie out of it. I'm going to add some banana, I'm going to add some berries, and I'm going to add some juice. And then I'm going to whiz it all up. Sounds gross, but I promise it's not. You can hardly taste the tofu at all. And then you get a little bit of protein in the morning. Okay, so all I have to do then is put that in a Tupperware with some cold water on the side, and it'll be fine. Just going to have a look now at the soup. I'm going to stir it around. Make sure that the salmon is opaque. You can't see any ruby bits anymore. And that's looking pretty good to me now. I'm going to add a handful of spinach into it at this point. And then I'm just going to stir it around. I know soup for one can seem a little sad. When I used to cook for myself all the time, sometimes on a Sunday I'd make this huge big pot of vegetable soup. And I'd plan on eating it every night for dinner. It was pretty much Old MacDonald's farm in a pot. It had everything in it. But by the time Thursday night rolled around and I was still eating it, the sight of it made me want to cry. So the good thing about this soup is that it's scalable. You can make it for one based on this, but if you're cooking for 2, 3, 4, it's exactly the same, you just double the quantities. So, I'm just going to ladle this now over the top. I could add some chili if I wanted a little bit of extra flavour. But that's it. The only thing left for me to do now is choose where I'm going to eat it. So it's my dinner, it's my choice. I'm getting a glass of wine and I'm going to the couch. I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.